Julentru, greetings and welcome, I would say, aboard the flagship of the SHadowStar, but right now, this is the home base of the Romulan cinematic ship, and this is the first Star Trek Online visual review, review in general, being recorded on the character that is my new main. Oh, yeah, this has been fun to set up. And it's not even entirely set up. Partially recording on the new main. Why is this ship on the screen right now? For a visual review to do with something different, but the same. You see, this ship on the screen right now, that I commonly say flies backwards, because honestly, it flies backwards. It feels way too out of shape for the direction it does fly in. Well, it would appear that a huge amount of inspiration has been taken from this ship. Plus, they've moved their tail to the front and put a saucer on it. Can you guess which ship we're reviewing today? Guys, allow me to introduce you to the ARW Jarok. Oh, she's pretty. Let's give her this credit. She is pretty, but can you see why I say there's a lot of influence? Hello, hangers. Taken from the Rana Donier. I mean, Starfleet has clearly had a huge impact after that point. Even probably pushed the Pterodactyls into this shape. This is the visual review of the Alliance Jarok carrier. And without further ado, let's begin. Well, that definitely took a moment to reset itself. Okay, so first of all, customization. Before we take a detailed look at this ship. Things to note is one, the Starship bridge ain't right. Come on, Cryptic, you can do better than this. My big hitch with Cryptic here is the fact that this is an Alliance ship. Clearly from the size and design, you can't say that it wouldn't have the bridges of other ships. I mean, look at the sources section. It has a Federation bridge module. And so with that in mind, I'm sorry, Cryptic, but this ship should have had, for its interior, access to Federation, Klingon, and Romulan bridges. Maybe Dominion, if you want to account Dominion into the Alliance. I do. I think Dominion should be part of the Alliance, so yeah. But all that aside, if nothing else, considering the feel of the ship, I would have definitely given it Federation bridges and layouts to go around. Especially considering certain other aspects of its stats. We'll go there in a bit. Now, you do have Alliance Material 1, but no other hull types. Again, considering the design of this ship, I would have left out Klingon hulls, but I would definitely have included both Romulan, Reman, and Starfleet hulls. 100%, I feel like that should have been included for this ship. It's a free ship though, not going to hold that too much against them. After all, materials is a little bit more difficult to give a ship than bridge interiors. Of course, this being its own design template, and it's the only ship of this lineage, so to speak, there's no customizations available to the ship either. This is fine, this is quick, not a problem. Means we can get straight onto the details, so in the next location, let's do just that. So here we are, demo record, and a different system to where I'd normally be. You see, I thought this would be a good idea, seeing as the lighting here is much better and there's no graphical glitches. Personally, it's become one of my favourite systems. I've always done test flights here. Speaking of test flights, but hopefully this will give a better visual review, or at least better detailing. On the upside, we have some enemies in front of us, and it helps us see something fun. So I'm going to slow down just a little bit, and we can see our little friends taking action. And my word, did they swarm quickly. Pulling back, pulling around. I've already unleashed the second lot, I do believe. Yep, there they come. And these targets, they have no hope. Honestly, I feel like it looks amazing too. Definitely pushes me back towards anti-proton. I've always liked anti-proton though. On the upside, we also see the Jarok fire just a few bursts, helping to identify its weapons points. Now, I've always figured that these were anti-proton omnidirectional weapon points, similar to beam strips or cannon mounts, but essentially combining the two technologies together and then using them across multiple areas. After all, once omnidirectional beam arrays were developed, you would use more of them, right? But then I've got another argument for this. Hello all my friends coming back here. Technically a phaser strip is omnidirectional. Kind of wanted to point that out before, but I felt like now would be the right time to do it. Either how, with everything having calmed down, I'll return it to normal motion speed. Let's take a look at the fighters first. So, these are the Jarok's Alliance fighter craft. It's a fighter squadron. Probably be better if I actually pinned him in place. Pause. Oh, he doesn't want to pause in place. Well, you're a douche, aren't you? Any of the others want to pause in place? There we go. Someone else does. I do honestly think this is a very sweet looking fighter craft. It's got a very sleek body. It's a very, very similar design to the Klingon captain's yacht that you can get in the game. If you haven't seen that, I do recommend looking it up. It's probably the best looking of the captain's yachts, followed by the yacht of the Sovereign class that you have for the Federation. Excuse me. It's very sleek, very slender. Fitting that it's Klingon aesthetic, since we have more of a Romulan Federation aesthetic with the ship itself. So this is the first Alliance ship to have all three very heavily influenced. I feel like Paris would really like the fact it's got these little fins on it. The Deflector of the fighter squadron is a very nice design. Shows enough thought that considered this ship would need warp drive. So this is a properly outfitted fighter squadron. The rebels of Star Wars would be proud. Just saying. Glad we haven't made the Empire's mistake. The impulse array looks absolutely brilliant the way it's been integrated into the warp nacelle. So you've got sort of that warp coil blue glowing element with the orangey yellow impulse segment. The hatch on the back, that is so well styled. It fits fluidly, smoothly and organically into the shape of the ship. I like how you've got a lower, I'm going to assume, lower hatch for the micro warp core that this ship would have. Safe to say, this is probably one of the first fighters I've gone into heavy detail on, and it's because I really like this design. I would very much appreciate it, cryptic, if we could fly this ship. The only other ship I want to fly more than this one is the Dominion shuttle that you see on some planets and some missions. Not the one we have in the game, the one that's been in much longer. Now, another final point to bring up here that I think is really nice for these is the sort of, I want to say the organic flow roll bar segment into the wings. The fact it's shaped somewhat like a dagger. But, although you can't really see weapon mounts on this ship, you get a strong idea of where they are. For example, this could probably be the micro torpedo launcher or tube. The forward blue bit down the bottom here could be a forward pulse phaser emitter. It's easy to assume that on the back of these would be where the actual beam emitters would be. You have got these little red spots on here, which for me could be the micro emitters, actually the weapon points, but I'm not sure why they'd be on the spine of the ship. Expect that more to be part of the warp system. Oops. And then you just have general plates across the ship that shows venting of heat, as well as possible shield points or shield emitter points. And I really do think, honestly, I don't know who the designer of this was. I wish I got their name. Whoever designed the shuttles, you have designed the best looking shuttles in the entire game. Damn, can you do more, please? Okay, so let's actually focus on the subject, the Jarok carrier. There's a lot going on with her. First of all, the fact that the nacelles, if you go in the customization, that seem to be listed separately. I'll explain more on that in a moment. I say this because you would say that the things on the tips of the wings are the nacelles. Now, there's nothing that says what you standardly can think of as the warp nacelles, the facade collector housing and unit, and the warp coils of the warp system have to be together. There's nothing that says that's mandatory. If you take Trek canon, the only real technically mandatories is that warp coils have to work in pairs and there must be line of sight. Now, that's actually a very good way to argue why you could have 3 nacelles and why nacelles can be the way they are. I think these beautifully designed tips to the wings are the warp coil system and the warp nacelle housings, functioning basically as 2 pairs. So you've got 2 on this side and ironically 2 with line of sight on the other side, essentially making this a 4 nacelle vessel if you take on the basic parameters. So we have 4 warp nacelles on this vessel. You then have 2 collector nacelles, because in my opinion the blue that you see here, the whole thing that's blue, is Warpnacelles. The way I see this ship. It's not Bassard collectors on the tips here. Those are up here. Now, that's the thing. Warpnacelles develop a huge amount of radiation. But a common mistake is that people think the Bassards do. They're not emitting anything. The Bassards are simply collecting. And that really well, they emit a small amount of magnetic radiation, but that's it. This means Bassards can be close to functional areas of the ship, as they are here. There's nothing wrong with that. And you have this beautiful looking nacelle house or collector, which for the size of this ship is huge, collecting in a nice, pleasant amount of required fuel, and then as it's close to the core of the ship, quickly feeding it back to the actual engineering and the main warp core to then be utilized as it has to be to generate the system. And this is not a singularity ship. This ship does not have a singularity. It has a standard Federation, Klingon, blah blah blah, warp core. I like to think this ship has the Klingon warp core in it. Running flat in here. Now, don't ask me where that is. I honestly... I hesitate to guess. I want to say there's more than one, because we do know certain ships had redundant warp cores. Some ships had more than 2 primary. For example, the Prometheus. If I was going to put the warp core anywhere, I would probably put it within the main structural body on this underside, and have a secondary engineering section down here, which is fed from the primary warp core to a secondary warp core down the bottom that is feeding the lower nacelles. Seeing as, well, they're not connected. Yeah, the wings are not connected, people. They look like they are, but they're not. Half of me now wishes it had the X-wing formation, because that would be hilarious. Or a tri-wing, if you count the hangars. But, this beautiful design easily works. It could be 2 primary warp cores. But, again, still not sure where those go. So, away from talking about the warp nacelle systems and that, and a little point out on the beautifully placed badge and what looks like coolant grids running right next to what I'd assume to be a high power emitter point, because that looks like an omnidirectional and a strip combined. My only thought on that could be it's actually a running strip. So this whole thing is basically a phaser strip, but it has the weapon point here is a running rail line and can actually run up and down that, allowing it to maintain a certain level of pinpoint accuracy over a longer period. I'm not sure how much effect or use that would actually have, but if you want to take the detail and give it purpose, maybe that would work. Another thing I'm loving, just gotta come down here to see it. Naming. Jarok. I'm believing in Klingon there. Nice point at the front. Kinda actually wish we had Romulan text here. That's just me. Downside, swap Jarok in Klingon. It would be nice to see a registry in Klingon on this ship, but that just seems to be missing. It's not a big deal, not a big problem. It still looks nice the way they got the registry across this ship. Now, next thing is going to be a question of, it should be on this ship, but it's not. This is a full science ship. It's a science carrier. Now, in my opinion, Cryptic are heavily nerfing carriers by not letting them have this. But design-wise, I think the ship does have this. The secondary deflector. Considering the Galaxy class had a secondary deflector. Honestly, I would say we have the beautiful primary deflector right here. And I hesitate to call this deflector up here. Honestly, I think that's got a more distinctive sensory platform purpose and comm system purpose. And then you have this secondary deflector down here, providing reinforcements where necessary. Also probably creating a secondary deflections field for the hangars, because it's in line with them, to allow this ship to launch its fighters or any other hangar craft while at warp. That would be very powerful, very useful, and I don't think the Romulans would oversight on something like that. So I could see them being stringent on this and saying, we need this redundancy. I've got a lot of respect for Romulans. I love the Romulans. From that to the bridge. Now, like I said before, Federation style bridge. Definitely Federation bridge module going on here. It makes me feel like the internals of this ship should be Federation. It could be a Romulan bridge. Just with a Federation module there. Please tell me I cut that. Sorry. But there's just two things I want to point on here. And then sort of swivel back to. On this ship, it seems to have a lot of hatches. There's your escape pods. They're obvious. But this ship, right in front of the bridge module, has two, what I'm going to assume is personnel hatches to work on the ship. They're big. They're very big. That could, if that lifted up right there, you'd be 12, maybe 18 personnel per platform. That's not necessarily a problem, because with a ship this size, you would be sending out a lot of people at once. That's also probably why there's so many like this. It's the ability to send out as many people as you need at one time. Some of these points, some of them, I do feel like are old school beam strips. But I hesitate to say that with just how many weapons the ship has. More on that in a bit. The biggest thing I want to point out here with the bridge is that, yes, it's true, it's deck 1, front and center, well placed, but it's so smooth into this deck 2, which could easily, one, love the fins on it, questioning why they go so heavily down, but love the fins on it. See a bit of area they kind of cut off? I want to say deck 2 here is where you'll find most of the senior staff quarters or VIP quarters. But then you'd have all the diplomatic stuff going on here within round deck 3. In the bridge area, but primarily there. If there'd been a window right at the front here and not a weapon, I would have said that would have been a diplomatic conference room. So I'm going to assume diplomatic conference room is actually here at the back. And they really should have considered giving them a window. Maybe there is one there. Maybe we just can't see it. Now, from that, a couple of things I really want to take note on. First of all, 8 hatches. Very big, very poignant, very nice systems clearly active around them. What are they though? I can't decide if they're warhead launchers, a new point of comm systems, a place to eject fuel from, if that's the case, I'd expect the actual warp systems of the ship to be closer towards the front. Which, honestly, I really can't see that happening. What I think this is a tactical readiness area. A place to strategize, plan out next assaults, stuff like that. It's close enough to the bridge that they can discuss and then take command of the ship. It's also in a reasonable spot where you'd assume it's got all the computer power it needs. The only other thing I could think about going there is the primary computer core. From that, we slick back to this very lovely raised section, fin and spine of the ship, which I imagine to be crew quarters as such. Excellent add to the ship because it makes it feel more bird-like by giving it this skeletal spine. It's actually kind of a Klingon feel in my head as well. The fact that it's got this skeleton feel to it makes it more warrior-esque. And it's considerably an unnecessary detail, this black piece going down the middle of it. But it adds just that right bit to pop this segment, really draw your eye in. Honestly, it looks amazing to me. And I love how around it as well, lots of escape pods. Now, from that, let's talk hangars, because I do want to avoid talking weapons yet, even though... Hello there. So, the hangar. It's quite a distinctive design. Now, interestingly lit, when you're getting close like this, you can see the force field, nice and easy. Yeah, getting to see the ship in a way most don't, hey? Doink. The back looks pretty good. It would, considering it's clearly the entire hangar has been exposed, it'd been nice for a little bit of extra detailing, but considering they're not expecting anyone to get this close, I kinda don't blame them. What I do like though is they thought about it enough that the force field, when you look at it from the outside, shows multiple lighting points. And they're not flat. They're running back as well. And that is brilliant. It's a little graphical trick. Great way of playing with the eyes. But when you're back here, you ain't ever going to know the difference. Excellent work. To make it even better, I love how when you come into here, you have the insignia on top of this piece. It's on its own little wing, which gives me the feeling they did consider giving us customization options. For example, having an option where you don't have the lower wing at all. Because, as I come here, you can see the emblem is on the underside as well. And to top this off, it's all one whole plate really, the yellow. Excellently sized, 4 decks coming across to it, so this hangar is... The hangar itself is obviously 6 decks in size. You can tell easily by the window that the opening there at its largest point is 6 decks. That also means that weapon emitter is 4 decks in size. Maybe 3. And the whole area functions well. You have 6 decks for a hangar. What looks to be 1 or 2 decks more above that, which could be power systems and other stuff. You have your hangar control point over here, clearly marked by windows. And then you have the beautiful, massive impulse array. Set in just the right place that you know that it's... The depth of it is to the back of the black. It's clearly a module almost, so it can be easily fixed and replaced. You get a good feeling about the depth of it, thanks to that. I mean, hang on, we can get a better feeling of this. There you go, back wall of the hangar, through. You got all that depth there to the impulse array. The impulse array is there. Oh, sorry. There you go. We're at the emission point of the impulse array. There's lots of room there. They fall it through. It's not, the impulse array is not right on the back of the hangars. It's brilliant. Cryptic, you have outdone yourself with this ship. Now, from point detail to complete form and function, there are kind of things that nickle at me, things I don't like too much. Firstly, I feel like if they gave this ship more of a Klingon nose, or turned that saucer practically on its side, it would have felt better. I don't know why, but I feel like that saucer wants to dip a bit more, or have something connecting from the lowest segment of the main hull to the bottom of the saucer, kind of like two twin necks coming together of equal thickness, I would have said, to join at the saucer at the front. That would have looked better to me. But beyond that point, I think the saucer is absolutely spot on. Not at first, but it's grown on me and I love it, because it still maintains part of the avian feel of Romulan ships. The yellow flow and trim doesn't hurt either. I really do like the flow of the wings. I like the fact that they're not connected, and the fact that they hold this aerodynamic sleekness to them. Again, I like the fact that the spine looks a bit skeletal to give it that more aggressive feel. And above it all, I love the fact that this ship doesn't feel like it's flying backwards. Cryptic, beautiful. But now to criticize your weapons points. This is a science ship, is it not? Cryptic, you could have given it 4-4 if you were going to go like this. Let's just go up here. Oh god, that's not the best angle to do this with. Just up here in general. So we have two on the tips of the wings. On the backs of the wings and down to the bottom, we have two more. We have one on the back of the neck to the spine. Either side of that, we have another two on each side. One right next to the Basard collectors. One at the head of the Basard collectors on the neck. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 weapons points just on the body. 13 if you count the saucer. Hello there, saucer. This gets worse. On the underside, you have another 2 on the saucer. So we're up to 15 weapon points. Another 2, no actually, sorry, another 4 on the tips of the wings. One at the very tip, one in the circles. 19. Going down the dead center, you have another 2. 21. Either side of those, you have another 6. 27. 27 omnidirectional anti-proton hardpoints. To top it into this, you then have what is very clear, very clearly, high energy output anti-proton points. $29. I missed one. There's one in the dead center of the lower saucer. 30. as we come up, it's going to get worse, you know why? Possible torpedo tubes. Possible torpedo tubes. Whoop. Possible torpedo tubes. Do, 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 do. Careful not to call them torpedo tubes, sir. Why do you think I decided they had to be runners or something else? On the back, 2 more possible torpedo tubes. That makes 5 pairs of torpedo tubes and 30 omnidirectional anti-proton weapon points. If this ship isn't incredibly armed, I don't know what is. I mean, to be fair, that kind of puts this ship on par with ships like the Galaxy class and the Sovereign, but cryptic. She's a beastly bunny. Okay, that's the detailed visual done. Who wants shield visuals? So I'm just going to take this time to be honest with you. I nearly went into the Vanity Shield bits without 2 of the Vanity Shields. Technically 3 if you count the new one. God, how many of you would have shot me for that one? I mean, it's bad enough that I don't have all the Vanity Shields as it is. But if it's the actual Vanity ones you can buy, then I should have them. Well, I try to have most of them. I don't actually have all of them. I will eventually. Because new characters gonna have to get them all again. I've had to swap over to my Fed to do this part. Oh, the problem with making new captains. It will always be the problem. I feel sorry for anyone who decides, you know what, I didn't start out right, so I'm going to start a new captain. But they've already spent money on the game. And the amount you lose because it's not account unlocked is sickening. Actually sickening. So. Ooh. Now let's not go to them. That would be a very, very bad idea. We're just going to dart over this way. And we will take a look. Also, may not have noted them out, but only because they didn't really bother me too much. I'm going to call them warp field vents or plasma vents. That's the only thing I can think of them being. Yeah. They're different, aren't they? Okay. Now, obviously, there's no point in looking at the Alliance Vanity Shield on this ship. Because this is the Alliance Vanity Shield. It's obvious enough what you're going to get. So, we'll skip that one. And we're going to go straight in from Alliance to Biola. I have to say, it's very nice being in the system because everything looks better than the Dyson Sphere. And although I do treat the Dyson Sphere as home, mostly because it's purple and I love the environment, I wish they would fix that graphics detailing. Now on this note, those anti-proton pods look like they've got some kind of charging cell on them with this Vanity. Can you imagine that spinning up before it fires? I'd expect a huge emission from that one. Ship looks very nice though. Hangar's barely changed, but can't be too bothered on that one. Next up, we will join the collective. Well, the cooperative. Oh, that looks good. Wow, that looks really good actually. I could see this being a ship designed by the Borg for the Alliance. Like, the Borg have come across multiple destroyed vessels, scanned them, taken their data, and then constructed from the wreckage and any extra components may have needed this vessel. And then they turned up in this and went, this is our gift to you, new powerful vessel based on your designs, and we just want to be part of your alliance. And yeah, that's what I would visualize this look and this style ship for. Looks amazing. Not expecting it to look amazing. Discovery refit Vanity Shield, which I don't like the fact they're not together, so I'm going to skip one for it. Mostly for the detailing you will see. Now, the texturing looks okay. It feels rough, beaten. Just in the era it's from. To me, it feels like you've gone into the future, your technology's enhanced, but for some reason everything's become rougher and broken. And considering the whole might as well be living nanites these days, well, in that future period, and it was actually a fluid-like hull prior to it during the temporal era of the 31st century. Yeah, that's a bit weird. Now we're going to skip Emil Chain Juggernaut Vanity Shield. Why are we skipping? You might see it straight away. Yeah. It's just a darker version with, for some odd reason, a lot more grated texturing and random grates and grills everywhere. Now, don't get me wrong, but this makes me feel like the Emerald Chain was constructed literally out of salvage. Like the Emerald Chain Juggernaut, despite its advanced enough technology to have the power it had, was actually practically a scrap ship, if this is the way its hull was, because clearly it did not have the fluid organic type hull. But then again, you could say the same, it doesn't make sense for this hull's style. In all truth, we should be having more like this. This isn't even more accurate, but close enough. Smoother, basic plating and texturing. That's what I'd expect from a practically living hull. Oh, let's be fair. You have the synthetics and the androids of TNG/Picard. The ship is literally alive by Discovery's future era. That's a nice look. I actually like that look. Not as good as Cooperative, but it's nice. Taran. Come on. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. I like it. I like it a lot. Nice plated texturing. The shine really pops. The spine doesn't pop as much on this ship anymore. That's it. The lower heat vents, these vents do make me feel more skeletal as well. I think that skeleton structure is more of a Klingon inspiration though. Ferengi Vanity Shield. Now we are in the distant future. Yeah, we're literally in the distant future now. We've just recovered this ship. It was been ditched on a planet somewhere. They've discovered it and were able to get back off the planet and back into space. But they didn't fix the hull up. So, the computer is telling us there are multiple hull breaches. Well, no kidding. It's rusted away. Looks good, however. Looks very good. I do like it. Interesting that the lighting changes every time you bring that up. Okay, Ferengi, have your play. Now, I was expecting the Ferengi hull to look good. I was expecting that. Mostly because of the decor. And the fact that this ship is actually following kind of the same shape. But you know what? That looks amazing. I could see a certain pseudo waltzing around in this ship, gathering and selling my bridge. Yeah, I could see that very easily. Oh, I do love the interaction I can have with some of you guys. Herc Vanity Shield. My instinct is to say no, but my mind is saying yes. It feels like a moth, almost. I'm not exactly against that. No, I'm not exactly against that at all. I like it, awkwardly. I do like it. Huh. Wasn't expecting. I was actually counting on that one being one of the burst ones. Kelvin Divergence. Washout time. Wow. Let's just be blunt. The Kelvin Divergence rarely ever looks good. Guess if you want kind of a Starfleet-y feel, there you go. I'm so glad I got rid of the Aegis. There's no point in looking at the Aegis. You want Aegis? Veteran. Medical Vanity Shield. We're here to save you. Launch fighters. How can you save us? We're fighters. Oh dear. Awkwardly, this feels... The smoothness of this hull is closer to what I would expect of the future. Just saying. Just saying. Not spot on, but closer to it. Platinum. That's right. This to me feels better. If we'd seen this in Discovery for the whole, I would have adored it. I'd be like, yes, that fits. Federation maintaining its white aesthetic but picking up a bit of black, showing that the Federation has darkened a little in its time. And that is actually my favourite look so far. Sorry, Cooperative. You pull up a good fight, but you failed. Next up, Section 31 Vanity Shield. Sorry, Platinum, you failed. Wow, that looks really good. The sort of dark and lighter grey tones just pop with each other. I don't know why, but taking away the glowing elements of the nacelles makes this ship feel even more ferocious and more deadly. Primary deflector doesn't glow anymore. Secondary deflector, we'll have a tiny glow. Oh, it looks good. No, yeah, mine. That's my look. Section 31, really such a good whole time. Sorry, Carter. Right. Then Cathy Vanity Shield. Okay. My honest opinion was, I was expecting to look at this and just go with, good, love it. That's not what's happened. I don't exactly dislike it, but it's not worked the way I thought it would. Because of the Zentaur, I was honestly expecting this ship to sort of have that same feel. We've ended up with not. Okay, next up. Xaphan-ShadowStar. This works just as well on this ship as it does on the Rana Donier. Which means to say it doesn't. Which is bad considering it's Romulan. And the primary shape and feel of the ship is Romulan. I do need to get the ship again though. I want to get that strike ship. Next up is simulation time. Now simulation on its basics level is going to be looking good, right? It does, reasonably. Right. Now I've seen what the competitive engines look like on this ship. So you're the primary deflector. The deflector, I thought that was the secondary, is the primary. Okay. I mean, not exactly a problem. Can't really see that element to it, but it's there. Guys, can you see that huge amount coming out from the lower wing? Holy. It's popping through on the disc too. And a bit there. I mean, I know that's a big impulse engine, but that's funny to see in there. Wow. If you want some fun, put the competitives on this. Well, that's interesting enough. I don't think I've actually got the competitives on me to equip to the ship, or I would just to show you. Sorry. Right, next up. Bichon. That should work. That should work. Even if it doesn't feel great, it should work. It does, kind of. Feels like it's been through the wars. Much like the Bajorans have. Scratched up beaten paint. That's the feel you get from this ship. Which is very fitting considering that is Bajoran ships in the hull. So roughly looked after. Not a bad touch. I do like it. I approve. I approve. Next up. Counter Command Covariant Shields. Oh. Okay. Okay. Give me multi-omnidirectional disruptors now, thank you. That works. Kinda wish you could use other hull types on it though, because to see the black bits with, say, Federation hull, or Bremen hull, or more primarily Type 4 Romulan, which is the one with it's a palish green accent. That would look great right now. Oh, my hand's shaking too much doing that. I'm sorry. I think the bridge module is the best looking part of this Vanity Shield here. And then we are on to the Delta Alliance Unimatrix. This could be really bad. Okay. Hasn't messed up the green there. Hasn't messed up the green there. Hasn't messed up the greens there. It's a little bit blacked out, but doesn't look bad. But the nacelles. Why is it always the warp coils that tend to be the ruining point? They're not too bad though. Not perfect, but not too bad. It's actually okay. Not the worst I've seen. Not the best. I like it, but not a lot. Some of you guys are probably like, you're never happy. Dyson Regenerative Shields. This is going to look great. I knew it was going to look great. Because it's basically the Alliance. Even on the inside, yeah, it's just added the grey hue instead of the white. And the purple striping looks amazing with it. Little copper highlights. Oh, wow. Hey, Alliance, this is how you do it right. Sorry, I'm not a fan of the yellow accented highlights. What's replaced it all just looks great to me. Looks absolutely great. Love it. Mine! Okay. Okay, hang on. Pause. Because all of these are always blind, I'm going to keep that in mind right now. So, Iconian has a lot of rounded engravings, so to speak, rounded markings on its Vanity Shield. On ships with a more square or boxy design to it, that is terrible. They do not flow together, they do not work together, ever. There are some ships it even doesn't work on them, which are rounded. Galaxy class, for example. 3, 2, 1. I think this is going to be good. I was looking down that whole time. That's the funnier part. Where is it on the saucer? I mean, I can see a tiny bit of detailing. Oh, actually, that works on the saucer. Saucer looks good. Bizarre collector zones, no. Neck, no. Neck looks crap. Lower body looks really bad. That is horrible. Upper body. You know, if you had held a perfect circle going around there without this jank, it's fine where my mouse marker is over at the moment, those 2 points, but jank, and jank ruined it. And then the rest of the central body ruins it too. Nope, it looks absolutely hideous. Looks like rubbish. Sorry. Just saying that. My opinion. Personal. My personal opinion. The Iconian one, which should have looked good on this ship, because it is a very smooth flowing, organic and round ship. Looks like rubbish. But did you like it? That's the real question. Lucari restoration. Now, that is always the question. No matter what I say about the way this looks, Tron, I will say this. What really matters is how you feel. Because if you're going to have this look on the ship, it has to be a case that you like it. Sorry if everyone else doesn't like it. If you like the way it looks, that's good enough. Simple as. I'm sorry to anyone that gets butthurt over that. But I'm just being honest. Space Barbie is about what your preferences are, not everyone else's. In fact, that same goes for builds. Work around your preferences. Mako. See, Mako got the central bit here better. kind of questioning a bit on the white paneling in the middle of that circle, but I can live with that. That to me looks way better. The whole upper side of the ship looks great and is what Iconians should have been going for. Actually, in general, the whole thing looks great. If Section 31 had not achieved what it achieved, this would be my favourite, but this is my second favourite look. Go Iconian. Right, next up we have Nukara. As old as you like, but still one of the best. God, you can tell the textures of age though. Cryptic, updates please. Update your old ones. I mean, I know you've got tier 6 versions which are updated, but update your old ones please. Please, please, please. Now, awkwardly, despite the way its structure normally works on anything, it doesn't work for me here. Not overly keen. Competitive, prevailing. Now, if you do want to put the competitive engines on this and have the visuals, I do strongly advise also using this hull. Luckily, it works really well. There's a couple of areas that don't flow. Couple of areas, but for the most part, it's a very nice look. Just the teeniest elements that don't really sync up properly, but you can live with that. The way they're done, you can live with them. Next, Romulan Advanced Prototype. If you don't look good, Romulan Advanced, I will be furious. I'm furious. The hell is this? I mean, actually, it's kind of funny, the discs on the wings. That looks funny to me. You could have saved it Underside, but you didn't. The top area was growing on me. Ish. The bottom just pulled it right back down. Oh, and the internal section where the hangars are, definitely no. No. Can we go on to the next one, please? Temple time, temple defense. Yink. Hey, look, we got the eggshells and sandpaper. How do you feel? I'm really not sure how to view this. Oh, oops. Don't right click, you start bending the ship around. You left click at me. Sorry. I love how they've had to disable Klingon recruit today. Right, next then? Next? Yes, next. Let's do next. Taran Task Force. Beauty, behold. I was expecting this one to become my favourite. It didn't. I mean, I like the shimmer and shine, but it didn't achieve what I was hoping. Do we have a bit more shine down here? I mean, it's not the worst, but that's far from as good as I was expecting it to be. Next, oh no. Hello, trash bin. Dielectric or green. The fact that I'm actually looking at this right now is my own stupidity. Pop 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 pop. And onto Jem'Hadar. Ah, there you go. Again, a very old one. Definitely needs a texture update. But at the same time, that very much works. Bring forth the Dreadnought. I could easily confuse this ship in some ways with a Dominion vessel, to be honest. And finally, love it or hate it, Marmite Riemann Advanced Prototype. Hello. Oh, wow. Love it. Yeah. You know, I've been saying you love it or hate it to the Riemann Advance for a while, because there are three types. There are people that always hate it, people that always love it, and the people that either love it or hate it. But again, it is either love or hate. There is never seemed to be a middle ground with this one, in my opinion. And with what a lot of times I hear. But recently, there's been a couple that actually were. Really? This one happily brings us back to the original. Love it completely. It's gorgeous. I would normally say that's too much hexagon pattern on the inner side, the way how much hole that covers. But the way it covers it and where it covers it counters that so well with the fact that there's none on the other areas around it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Section 31 is my favourite. This is my second favourite. Mako takes third. Stand ovation to Section 31, hey? Guys, definitely getting behind the way this ship looks. My score for this ship, as it is a Star Trek Online original, is 9 out of 10. But customization options, they've missed out a point on doing the actual good bits. What they could have done better. Do you know what? If they'd actually done those things, giving it the bridge, giving it more bridges, giving it more hull types, honestly, I would have rated this so much higher. That's saying something there, isn't it? So much higher than 9 out of 10. It means it square breaks 10 out of 10 and does it perfectly. For a ship that I wasn't 100% keen on at first, there are still things I'll criticise about its looks. But you know what? I'm going to give it its credit. It is a beautiful amalgamation of Romulan and Federation, done with such a beautiful, sleek and slender style that feels very organic and alive. It feels ferocious. You have the avian aesthetic, you have the high-tech aesthetic, and you have the diplomatic aesthetic blended into one. I love this ship. Amazing job to the artist and designer. And Cryptic, thank you for bringing this to the game. Guys, thank you for watching this pretty long video. Hope you've enjoyed it and found it somewhat informative in any way, or enjoyed the detailed looks. Hope to see you next time. A massive thank you to people credited on the screen right now, because this video could not be made without their generosity and support. If you wish to join the people credited, or even being with a chance of winning future promo or infinity ships, then check out the description for the links to do so. To be put in for the prize draw, which happens with each review of said ship, just have to be a YouTube member. Now, with that being said, thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time. Hope you'll consider sharing and liking the video. And until then, live long and prosper, my friends. Ciao for now.